Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting race for the Super Metroid Randomizer League Season 4 playoffs. This is a matchup of the semifinals between the A Team, Ace Zero, and the Chicago Bullies, Simo. I'm Zeb316, I'm your commentator, and I'm joined by D-Web. How you doing, D-Web?
I'm doing pretty good. You just gave us a good show on the race before this, and now
No
I'm
spoilers
happy.
about what happened, but it was a pretty good race.
Yeah, I am happy to be joining you on comms. I realized that you were like one of the last people that I like really wanted to do comms with, and given that
Mhm.
you're on the other side of the semifinals, it was getting late to be able to do one of
Yeah.
these. And
Mhm.
oh my goodness, we have a 7 criteria.
That that is silly. I've never seen 7 criteria, and I've done a lot of these seeds.
I was
So,
actually about to say, I think the
that's
final game of our summer
pretty
tournament
grim.
was a 7 criteria. One of the runners was in the race and can maybe confirm in chat, but that was
This
that
is
was a random start
so
where they could have suits.
so I know how Seymour thinks about these kind of similar to how I do. And normally we like to have like one criteria. You want to be able to like get out of criteria as soon as possible. Like because there can't be suits here. So like doing these checks just feels so bad. Seeing the 7 criteria would be like my worst nightmare. This is like horrible.
Yeah, I think I actually mentioned that at some point earlier in the season. Yeah, like ideally you get like a 1 criteria that makes, well, number one, you get your major, it's morph ball, so like that's known and you're good. And then
Yeah.
if there's
Mhm.
no other majors, there's a good chance of finding, your good minors being power bombs and supers. Here, like it could just give us missiles and like, full beam and high jump and speed. Like that is a
Yeah.
possibility here. And then we're looking for stuff for like ever in all kinds of disparate places.
It'll be pretty bad too if they don't get like power bombs and just have to like abandon criteria early. Like imagine if they like get bombs at BT, like and like yeah, this well there's
Oh,
one. That's a good one. That's a speed booster. So that's one of the better things you can find in criteria. I'd say that charge and high jump are like the best things generally. But
yeah. I was about to put you on the spot if they found a power bomb and ask you if speed saves enough power bombs that you could do Billy Mays in the
I think that you
transition
do
check.
Billy Mays with 7. Oh, with the transition check, yeah, you actually can. Speed saves you 2 power bombs because you can use one for the spark up. You can use one for the speedball over to the. I don't think you can do this, Ace. I really hope that. Okay, Ace shouldn't die doing, but you can't spark across, and it doesn't kill the top pirate.
I
Uh,
think I thought if you sparked at like the top of the door, like it would, but oh goodness, you were
yeah,
right. That
yeah,
was really
that's
dangerous.
yeah.
And it looked like Simo kind of wanted the short charge coming into the
Yeah,
climb,
yeah.
which
You need an E tank for that.
yeah was not going to get to the top if they decided to try a spark. That was something that actually Ace was talking about a little bit in our Discord today. One of the less
Hmm.
controversial things that was discussed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we won't go too into that because that's like very insular. But
Yeah,
yeah.
so
So with speed though, that means there could be no bomb or power bomb, and we could be abandoning a lot here. Yeah, and it's just an E tank. So with it being area, there are 2 options from here. You can go right at the ship, but you only get 1 transition, or you can go to the left and you get an item and 2 transitions. So generally, pretty much everyone goes to the left unless they're trying to make some sort of divergence play.
yeah, I would also very much expect left. And yeah, this how long is this criteria going to be weighing on their mind? Like
Yeah,
it has, 5 is tied for second most area transition, so you're pretty likely to come back here. The problem is like, I mean, if the first time you come back here is like meme route, like that's a long traversal that you maybe don't want to do, depending on where
yeah.
you are
At
in
the same
speed.
time, you get like a lot of the items there. With meme route, you
Yeah.
get like you can do Billy Mays, you could do like the PB there is really good
Yeah.
because it's really fast.
Oh,
Ooh, there's trade 0. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of zeros this seed, by the
I
way.
mean, I meant to mention this earlier when we saw the 7, but so like the total number is 16. So there's 9 left, and there's 4
Four.
of
Holy
them.
crap. Yeah. So we've got 5 left in among how many areas? Lower Norfair, Upper Norfair, Wreckship, Croc, West Meridia, 5 across, and Red Tower, and Green Brit. So 5 more majors across 7 areas.
Okay, I'm gonna start the disagreement between us already, Zeb. I think I would have very, very strongly considered doing that Kraid. Because it could have
You
your
know,
first power
you
bombs if
know,
it's Kraid.
I would agree if they had some sort of bomb to get into grade.
Oh, that would help. That would help a lot. Yeah, you're not getting first power bombs behind a.
Maybe SEMO has some sort of like tech where they can use the speedball and like store it and whatnot. SEMO's been doing a lot of map rando stuff, so maybe. But I feel like without X-ray, that would be pretty tough too. So
Yeah, and yeah, I was just not thinking about the bomb block somehow. So yeah, we weren't gonna disagree there, but
yeah.
we're gonna go down here, and probably we're just gonna find Green Bryn 5, and like the seed's gonna be over, right? Like that's what's gonna happen.
Well, there's a red Bryn 0, and you kind of have to do this item. You're still looking for a power bomb, and like
And you
this
can't go
sort of
left.
red Bryn, yeah, is a little awkward. I like SEMO coming down here. Yeah, and this power bomb, that could be huge. So I
Oh,
think best case
Ace would
scenario
not need
here for
this.
Ace is that this is like a power bomb blocked spot. So like imagine if this is meme route that forces Ace to go back down and get that item. Oh,
Well,
that's good. That's good. That's a power bomb lock spot basically.
yeah, and there's an item here too that Ace may try to get.
I don't know why Ace is checking this with Wreckship 0.
I also don't know why Ace would check this with Rookship 0. Can't even
Like,
be.
yeah,
It
if it's a
could be.
power bomb, you can't like get to it.
Yeah, if bombs were somewhere, yeah, that would have been a thing. But yeah,
I'm also curious if we see SEMO check this boss because it is boss randomizer. Um,
yeah, this one I'm
SEMO
less
also
likely.
going up to check it, but then not. I kind of like skipping this. I think that especially with a Wreckship 0, the crate is 0. So if it's Kraid or Fantoon, you're not really getting that rewarded. Like you're able to do it, and then you never have to come back here again. But and interesting. So SEMO's going to go check across moat, and I think I like this. It's really bad to isolate one portal where like there are a lot of groups of portals. Like these 2 criteria portals are kind of like grouped together. So it's normally okay to like leave 2 portals that are grouped together alone. And there's a reserve. But when you just leave one portal, it can open up really isolating a spot. So I really like this portal check here. And
There's
it's
also the
Upper
chance.
Norfair. Upper
The other
Norfair 5? What the heck is this seed? So that's everything. That's all of the majors. Is that all of the majors
That is all the majors.
in 3 areas?
3 areas.
0 in every other area?
In my I use Mass Hysteria's tracker and can confirm unknown 0. There are no unknown majors. They're all known already in 3
I've never
places.
seen something this crazy. That's actually absurd. So SEMO has the health, has with that reserve, effectively 2 E-tanks, can check ice. It's really annoying though, because you want to check Crumble Shaft and ice, and like trying to keep your health up for both. It's a real pain. But
I barely have words, and I'm supposed to be talking.
yeah.
Like,
So one thing that's like really kind of important to note is I think that this is almost a charge required seed.
well, how hard can it be to find? It has to be at like
Exactly. So
Exmo with like
that's
Dragon at Ridley. That's the worst
it's
possible
like
thing.
there are like 2 reasons for that. First of all, like there are only 3 areas you have to look for charge in. So that's like really important. Second, you are probably going to be skipping like all of the 0 items. So you're not going to be picking up the miners there either. And
There's
that means you're just gonna like end up needing the charge beam.
There's almost too many majors in each of those areas. Like, you might have to search one of those zeros for some E-tanks at this rate. Like how many E-tanks are going to be available in the three areas you want to look in?
We've already got 1+1, and then Simo just did see one at Croc Escape. So, and Simo going right. I kind of like this. Ice is really slow. Like with this loadout, it's just like really bad. You're probably like saving, checking both items, and then resetting. And even then, it's like not free to get to both items. You might have to farm first. So instead, Simo just going to go to the faster checks, where these are a lot more doable.
Yeah, I was wondering, and Ace could still also make this decision. It kind of feels bad, but you could option back to criteria here. With the low health.
To look for E-tanks, kind of.
I mean, E-tanks, yeah, and the 5 other majors, which,
Yeah.
high jump, space jump, those are really going to speed you up. If charge is there, you're probably hitting go mode sooner, because if you don't check criteria now, I guess actually, what am I saying? If you don't do it now, you're doing it next, right? Like,
yeah. I
unless
mean,
you find grav.
the reason to do it is to make the Norfair comfier. So, like, you're doing it to look for, like, an E-tank. Or maybe a high jump that makes, like, movement a little better. But otherwise, you're not really getting... Like, I will say, like, these Norfair checks are not great right now. Just because of, like, 1-in-1 is not what you want to be hell running. But... And we will see what's over here for Ace. If these... I think Varia is, like... Okay, so that's a super. If this last one is not a major, this is, like, huge for Simo.
It really is.
Ace doesn't have enough energy to...
Yeah, I think at this point, resetting's probably his best option. Or just kind of bailing? I don't... Ugh. Yeah, putting yourself in this position, I feel like you kind of have to do, or leaving. That was an option.
This is kind of what I was talking about with Simo earlier. Deciding to skip this, those checks are so bad. They're like, you saw it with Ace. Like, that's just like, oh, and there's Varia.
Wow.
So that's going to be really hard for Ace to come back from.
I mean, it's got to be all the suitless stuff here, and Simo has to come back to this area to get it. That's like, yeah. It also depends on
like that just speeds everything up so much for Simo.
It really does.
Getting to check all of these, getting the remaining 3 majors here. And the thing is, like, it's... So if it's suitless Meridia, you're just so likely to find Grav here. Because the only place that Grav could be if it's not here is Baoon. That's, like, the only place. Because it can't be in Criteria, and East Meridia is the only other place left.
Yeah.
So either the answer is here in Upper Norfair, or it's at Baoon for Gravity.
Yeah, and like, even so, like, say Gravity is in Norfair and like Simo spikes charge and criteria, like, I think, like you said, like, Simo's probably just gonna get it anyway.
Yeah.
And that did break the blocks.
And there's Gravity. Just as. So I think that if you're Simo, so now you can't quite kill Ridley yet. So we've seen Wreck Ship, we've seen East Meridia, we've seen Kraid, we haven't seen Lower Norfair or Torian yet. So Simo is probably going to be like, I would still like clear out Upper Norfair. Like, Simo's going to be picking up ammo to potentially kill Ridley, but I don't think we'll be picking up ammo for like beating the game.
Yeah, I was interested in this play by Ace. He so he sparked and broke the blocks, and then he refilled. I thought he would just kind of go through and not do this spark, for health reasons, but he's.
I mean, you have to do the spark.
Oh yeah,
because you only have 5 power bombs.
Yeah, down to one major in Norfair, and
Upper
it's
Norfair,
either
yep. Cathedral or Ice.
yeah. So yeah, I think I I was probably a little hasty just on the front that like what portals you check and when could make a big difference as far as finding Turian. But other than that, like yeah, Simo's they're really far away and Simo has both suits. That's the big thing.
And there's the
So
Spazer. Sick item. Oh, and there's the last area. So
the vanilla Lore Norfair
this is the
transition.
last thing that Simo needed. Simo will need to farm up PBs to be able to do Wasteland. But we'll be able to get out because of the speed booster. Speed booster breaking 2 blocks that you would require power bombs without. Otherwise, Simo would kind of have to turn around here if they didn't have speed booster.
Yeah, going all the way and like going to the item locations here and like hoping for an extra power bomb pack is like would have been a risk without speed, but like you said, we're fine as long as we're smart with our ammo. And yeah, Ace is clearing this out. There's a chance you don't, and I kind of like and kind of don't like when commentators do this. Best thing that Ace can do right now is clear out Billy Mays, go look at the meme route, and it's Turian. That kind of flips things.
It's true that will probably be the last place Simo finds Torian.
But Ace isn't going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that would still be a pretty big time sink for Ace to go down and see Torian there and have to like leave or like reset back to the ship.
Yeah, he very much didn't go down there because his power bombs were out, which I just noticed.
Yeah, and that's another thing, having so few power bombs here.
Oh, yeah, you can't even do both of those at the same time unless you spike another power bomb. So yeah, I mean that location's bad for Turian when you don't have early power bombs. So it was always pretty likely that both of them didn't see it anytime soon unless they found the other side of it. But
okay,
yeah,
so that
just
missile
trail.
Yeah, that missile for Simo gives them enough ammo to kill Ridley without any power bombs now. It's exactly enough, but it is enough, so I expect that we see Simo probably to farm up everything before entering the potential Ridley fight or whatever boss this year.
Yeah, Ace also didn't get any E-tanks out of that endeavor, which probably is one of the things he wanted. So he's basically just back here with more ammo plus Wave and Spazer and Spring Ball, and Spazer's not helpful and Spring Ball is debatable. I'm not gonna anger the rabid Spring Ball fans.
I mean, Spring Ball is good right here. You don't have high jump, so it does stuff.
Oh yeah, you also got screwed. I forgot about that. I felt like I was forgetting something. So yeah, definitely the most significant of the things Ace picked up, especially assuming he also finds this lower Norfair portal. The variant placement's like good in the sense that like almost everyone when you check Norfair, like you're gonna do speed first, so you're unlikely to not have it for the rest of Norfair.
So Ace is about to get the Varia suit now. Did get that plasma beam as well. And Simo is picking up all this ammo. I guess you are like at okay ammo, but like you're gonna run out of checks really quick here. Like, what, are you gonna like go into Green Brinstar and actually start checking stuff in Green Brinstar? Maybe.
I mean, I'm gonna throw it over to Mr. Area Expert. Are you going front of LN here?
No,
You're
absolutely
not.
not. Um, it could be Croc there. That would be horrible. It could be Torian there, and you still kind of don't want to go there. Like, it's kind of okay if it's Torian, but I think that you
Turian's
just want
actually no
to.
mode, right?
Yeah, it's no
Turian,
mode at that point. But, like
so
you're losing a lot of time to get that no mode if you find Torian there.
losing more time if you last location it, but yeah.
Potentially. Like, we'll see how the portals work out. It's possible for you to deduce it faster than you would um, have to reset back out of doing that whole long run.
So yeah, the interesting thing. So what before we like just like happened into Lower Norfair, I was gonna say because of like all the disparate checks, doing Lower Norfair last was probably a pretty reasonable play because we knew the other boss areas, but because of just when we found it, like you do
Mm,
kind of have to do it. So
yeah.
yeah, the portals
And I think
here
that what you
are
want to do here is you actually kind of want to follow the portals, you know. You want to go back to do wrecked ship, I think. Yeah, I think you want to do wrecked ship. Then you want to do Kraid. Odds are pretty good you've killed Dragon at that point, and then you can do the back of East Meridia. Um, and then from there you can go back to the front. And from there you basically just search Torian, and that's it. Like once you find Torian, it's
are
done.
you
So
is the first thing you're doing chronic boost or are you ignoring that?
I might just ignore it honestly. Like just oh man, this is pretty tough though. Like I think that it's totally reasonable to like route it like okay, I'm going to go to chronic boost. I'm going to go to Croc portal. I think that might be better. Yeah, it might be better just to like go down and like do those portals first.
And Ace did these checks in a different order to Simo, so went to Wave into Portal first, but did not go through Lure and Warfare.
Yeah, and it looks like
So
that's what Simo is planning to do. I kind of like part of the reason I kind of want to just go back the other way is you get to do Cathedral then, and Cathedral is just like very likely to be an item. For Simo, it's 1 out of 3, but we know it's 1 out of 2. Um,
yeah.
yeah, we'll get to see what these items are, or what these portals are. Green Brand. Okay. So that's another portal. And a super there. So now you're getting actually kind of reasonably close. Maybe you can just do some Green Brand here and like hope to get enough ammo. Like you do charge, you do charge missile, you do um
Big pink missile.
yep, you do Mission Impossible missile, you do what's it called? You do the reserve. And at that point you like maybe are like really close and you just don't have to worry about charge. Okay, and there's the last Upper Norfair portal. That's actually a really
That
nice
was
portal to have out of the way.
so good for cleanup. I
Yeah.
didn't even see how we got here, unfortunately, but
It was
assuming
just
new
New
bridge to the
Bridge.
bottom
Yep.
thing, yeah.
Yep.
Just paying attention to Ace missed the one bomb block screw attack for 4 tries, unfortunately. So yeah, a little bit better low on warfare he will have with the screw attack potentially, but it wasn't like very slow at all for Simo anyway.
So we are okay. So Simo is playing this safe. You could abandon this middle of Red Tower portal. But it's like you're never getting back here. Really, like that's going to be really hard to get back to. So Simo just coming back over here, checking this portal, seeing where it goes. Maybe from here we'll go up and do wreck ship. But at that point, then like, if you're not doing Green Bryn, then ammo gets a lot harder. So we'll have to see what's here though. And it's crop.
Croc?
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
really good to know about, so that you know crop can't be anywhere else. So now if you like finish the game somewhere, you can go to like let's say that Simo finished the game at East Meridia. You can go to the front of East Meridia without fear of finding Croc there and like having to backtrack.
And we are at the point where all three of the, there's 4 boss areas. One of them is a dead end. The other 2 are like 2 ways, and all 3 of them could have Torian at the other side, which doesn't feel great ever.
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah,
But
yeah. It's
actually, I think it's
really bad.
it's like a 50-50-ish chance from
So
my knowledge.
yeah, we've got. So worst case scenario here, I think, is that 2 of those boss portals go to each other, and then the last one goes to Torian.
Yeah, especially with meme route outstanding too. That's
Yeah.
also plays a factor.
Yeah, I guess, or one of them goes to meme route and the other one goes to Torian. That would be pretty bad too.
Yeah, Simo is doing some Green Burn Star checks. We'll see how they treat them as far as missiles and supers.
And now I think that you're committing to ammo at this point. Like if you're doing this, you still have a chance to like just say, okay, like I got my Ridley ammo, I'm now committing charge. But like East Meridia is pretty bad to clear, Criteria is pretty bad to clear. So I think it's totally reasonable just to like decide on ammo at this point.
East Meridia also has the distinction of there's one item that's not there if Dragon's not there, and there's another item that's locked by Dragon, which also makes things more difficult.
Yeah, and this portal is very likely to go to a boss location too. Whichever boss location. It would be pretty bad if it's Foreign Warfare. But if it's Wreck Ship or East Meridia, that's really good for Simo here. Oh, and Simo's even coming down here. Wow, okay. So this is a little more thorough than I maybe would have been, but Simo really wants to get that ammo now, is like really committed to
I
it.
feel like if you do like all 8 of these, you're pretty likely to be like within like 2 or 3 pickups of go mode, and then I mean, like you said,
I mean
like,
you're not going
to clear.
You're not going to Edekins here, regardless, but
You'd only get a missile and an E-tank though.
Yeah, and this is kind of where like it's just hard in this mode because of like it's almost similar to Chozo in a way, with the E-tanks being like available in the minor spots as well, making it harder to clear out to go without charge, basically.
I'll be interested to see if Ace also makes both the same ammo play and the same like door decisions, just because there's a lot of them at this point.
Man, and Simo's just got there's a missile. 4 checks into the Bryn Reserve, getting 2 power bombs, a reserve, and a missile. Pretty sick when you're looking for ammo.
Yeah. So my thought process behind Ace is that he has, 4 of the 5 remaining criteria majors cleared, so has a better sense of where charge is, and like if it's Ice Beam, like
Oh my
neither of them are
gosh.
getting it, but actually, well, yeah, I don't think Ace goes back to Ice Beam right now. He's probably doing the portal checks. Yeah,
I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. I could see Ace going back to True Cathedral, seeing if that's the item, and if not, then going back to Ice. I think the finding charge is pretty big here. Like, it's even high jump would be good, or space jump.
Yeah, so this is a big moment here. Oh, it's meme route.
Ooh, that's pretty good. And just a missile. I don't think that we see Simo go check Billy Mays, but I wouldn't actually be shocked by it.
Yeah, like if charge was right there, like that was just it. But no, there's still some plays. And yeah, Simo is. Do you do the quick checks here?
You definitely do the quick ones.
Is the
I
quick ones
almost I
literally
would have
this
been
one and that's
tempted to
it?
do. I would have actually been pretty tempted to do Billy Mays here as Simo, seeing like the ammo checks aren't working, like just full clear criteria, and you're so likely to find charge. There's a super
At
though.
least it was a super. So far, Ace is literally just doing what Simo did, which is hard to do in an area seed, kind of. This one maybe a little less difficult, other than obviously the criteria divergence.
Yeah, and we get to see climb supers. That's not a check you get to see every day. Pretty cool.
Shoutouts to climb supers. It's a location in the game. That's all I'm comfortable saying.
And it's a super. Okay, so that's pretty worth. So now you're getting pretty close. You're about 4 supers off of ammo mode at this point.
Yeah. Unfortunately, nothing else in criteria up here that we know is going to help Simo in any way, because Screw Attack has lost its usefulness from Lord Orpher being done. Wave is only good if you also Wave could be good if you try to baby skip, but otherwise it's not good unless you get
Oh
charged.
wow,
Spring
and skipping
Ball.
230, so gonna be skipping that
Yeah.
screw attack. Probably, yeah, I think that Simo will be going through Gauntlet here. And maybe criteria power bombs? Yeah, it looks like going to criteria power bombs too. So we saw Spacer at the back of Gauntlet, and we saw, was it Spring Ball at the middle?
That sounds right, yeah. And finally, Ace is doing something different than Simo, going into West Meridia.
Oh, and okay, so Simo instead is going to go over here. I think this makes sense too. Also, so how much of West Meridia have we seen? Have we seen the top
We haven't seen
portal?
top or map.
Okay, so we're still missing 2 of those. So, yep, Ace will be giving us new information here.
That's why Simo was going this way, because Wreck Ship was this way. I've forgotten where Wreck Ship was. I thought what you
Yeah,
pointed
this
out
is
about
Rexship. This is
Gauntlet
Rexship.
made sense because it's
Ooh, and
interesting.
there's oh man, okay. So with Front of East Meridia being there, there are 3 locations left where targeting can be. There's the back of Rick's ship, there's the front of Lauren Orfair, and there is
Map
Map Room,
station
and
with
there is Charge Beam.
charge.
So that charge is really big. What's bigger
If
here, I
it was
think.
high jump, like, oh my goodness, then we would have really had some craziness on our hands.
So what's
Ooh,
really important here is I think that Ace could just be stumbling into routing this better.
I was about to say that too, because yeah, you go out the back and you're at crate, and then you end up in Wreck Ship. I mean, again, front of the
It,
Norfolk is the worst place for both of them. Meridia map is going to be far-ish away from Ace as well. Simo, well, it depends on where this other side of Wreck Ship goes. Like if this other side of Wreck
mhm.
Ship is Turian, and yeah, Ace really
I
could have
think that
stumbled onto a
so
god route.
whichever boss Ace decides to do last is going to be really important. Because I don't think Ace is going back to that map station. So we won't know
It's
if
already
Torian's there.
decided pretty much, right? Because the backside of this is literally right next to crate, right?
Yep, you do Kraid. Oh wait, yeah. Yeah, so Ace has already done Morn Offer. You're right. So yeah, Ace will be finishing with Wreck Ship, so if that's Torian, then Ace might be ahead here.
And Simo
Simo does
See,
need a little more ammo now. Not much, only needs like 2 super packs to even be comfy, but just a little more.
I just had one thought about going out the other side of East Meridia, not having Dragon there, which Simo just showed us is going to mean you have to do the loop around. I still think it's smart because of what you know about the layout, but we'll see if Ace gets deterred or not.
Oh no, Simo messed up the spike suit. Probably not a big deal, but... And there's a grapple beam. I'm not
After
sure
you,
where that helps.
yeah, after you just killed Dragon, that's one of those things. Yeah, I wasn't paying quite close enough to them to see if they just face planted, but yeah.
Hmm.
If you're
Like,
like,
if you didn't have speed, I would like it actually because it helps a lot with Everest. But with speed, I'm less certain about it.
so yeah, Sibo's in a not too dissimilar position from the Lore and Warfare play. The difference between that is that this is probably closer than Fun of Lore and Warfare as far as a door check, and it also doesn't cost health with Acid Dive, but is again skipping.
Yeah, I think that once you've already checked out these other portals, you're skipping now. Like it kind of seems weird, but like when you don't know as many portals, I think that checking the front of Lore and Warfare was more defensible. But now that you've already spent, like, if you found Torian there, you wouldn't need to check anything else. But now that you've spent the time checking all the other stuff, now I think that you just, like, leave.
Yeah, so we're at two bosses each.
Yep,
Simo is
and
going
Simo will be
to
going back across criteria. So best case scenario here for Simo,
is Map Station Turian because they
yes,
will run
that
out the
would be
front
like an
of it
insane
and then
route
just
for
fall.
Simo.
Yeah, they both have a potential god route. Funnily enough,
I think that Simo still wins if Torian's at the front of Lore and Warfare. Simo will be checking this.
yeah, it depends on
Was this
checks a
wave?
little bit too.
I think this was wave.
Maybe that sounds right. Yeah. And yeah, Ace is not doing the route we wanted.
Yeah, we'll be going back. Well, this is a safer route from Ace. I'm pretty surprised by it though. I don't think that Ace has all the red tower portals.
He does not.
So,
that's what Simo has.
Yeah. So this won't be like full. We know everything, or like Ace won't know everything after this.
We will though, yeah.
Yeah, but we will.
So yeah, chat pointing out, I think correctly, that this is Forgotten Highway.
And it's Torian, wow.
Yeah.
So this is gonna work out super well for Simo. This is.
Wow. That was an option. I mean, knowing that is still pretty good because you have I mean, now that Ace knows everything, you're not doing more checks, which is going to save, the red tower checks plus all of the items that Simo's still doing. But yeah, the routing feels like it probably still too good for Simo. It depends on
Simo. All the portals Simo skipped, like, ended up working out basically. Like, back of Wreck Ship goes to the front of Lore and Warfare, and like, I guess if you had, like, when you first found Lore and Warfare, if you had gone all the way through to the front, this route would have worked out really well too.
Yeah.
Because you would have ended up at Wreck Ship, you would have gone through it, you would have gone then back to Kraid, and then finished with East Meridia, and then like right there. So it would have worked out a little better if you had gone all the way through Warfare, but this is still going to work out really well for Simo.
Yeah, so a few questions in chat. Yeah, we were wanting Ace to go full through East Meridia to end up at Criteria right next to where Simo is to do Kraid and then Red Ship. I think, however, that the way Ace did it will end up faster as far as like the way the portals work out and knowing stuff. It's just that it's so good for Simo. Assuming ammo mode is reached, which like a super does it.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of has to be one on
Does
the way.
Ace know all the portals now? Because
he knows everything he needs to know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we knew Kraid, Wreck Ship, and East Meridia, like right at the beginning.
He doesn't necessarily know everything, but he knows everything he does need. So, because he hasn't seen the back of Wreck Ship or the front of Lore and Warfare, and he hasn't seen Croc either.
Right.
Okay, so it looks like Ace is going back to Kraid now before Wreck Ship. Is that
because he came
that's
in there
good.
from West Meridia? That seems like it makes sense.
So I guess
It's probably 6 in one, half a dozen in the other, frankly, but
So
maybe
yeah,
one's a
yeah,
second or
yeah,
two
yeah.
faster.
It probably doesn't matter what order you do these in.
Shout outs to Spring Ball. This is why you don't upset the haters.
Yeah, I mean, I love Spring Ball. Spring Ball does some sick stuff like that. I think it generally for me, I feel like it's worth a pickup. Like it's worth the 7 seconds of fanfare. But
This is the wrong door, I think, for yeah, Ace realized
yeah,
it. If it comes down to 5 seconds, then that door transition is what does it.
it doesn't feel like it's gonna come down to 5 seconds though with this. Right
Yeah,
now.
I mean, I feel like either Simo. Well, see, the thing is, either Simo's way ahead or it's really tight. I'm
I don't really think
unsure.
so.
You don't?
I think Simo's just ahead by a good amount.
Yeah.
I guess I'm assuming that Simo's gonna check Aqueduct
Yeah.
for minors at the end. But
Oh, well, I think Simo will be in go mode by then.
I'm not sure because you're doing
Well,
East
if
already
this
from
is
the
a
back.
super, they will be. This could be a
Yeah,
super right
that's
here.
true.
Oh no, they already checked it. Or no, they didn't. It's just blue weirdly. Maybe they shot it on the way in. That's why
Power
it's
bomb.
blue.
When you wait
Oh
power
yeah,
bomb.
power bomb opens it. Good call.
Yeah, maybe Simo won't check it actually. It won't matter regardless, really, because like, yeah, full beam is a little faster on MB2. Otherwise, shouldn't really matter. Like,
I also forgot that because of where Simo's gonna come in here and only having Draged, that's a bottom skip. So that's a point on your front of being quite ahead.
yeah, I guess it is a
Assuming
little
portal
closer
checks
than I
correctly.
thought. Um, but this just routes much better for Simo than it does for Ace at the end. Because I think Ace has to go all the way back down Red Tower after. Like, Ace has to run across Criteria, go all the way down Red Tower to get back in. Although you do get the map station, or you get Main Street instead of Redfish, which is slightly better. So yeah, maybe this is close.
And yeah, this is also. I mean, I think Simo has to find ammo go mode here because, well, no, Ace didn't like check any of this stuff, but like it's so unlikely that there's not like a super or like a missile or something between Precious and the Ridley item and Batsuni tank.
Yeah, I guess I would just be like, a missile is enough. I think if Simo gets a missile, they're still looking for one more super.
Yeah, as we actually just saw in the previous race, 85-45 will work.
It's not good. You need to missile at least
refills.
2 doors and then refill, and then you have like a missile of leeway.
Yeah.
Simo not quite staying up top there. Using some grapple strats. Wreckship is a bit faster to get through. But there are these elevators too. And there's a missile, so that's enough for Simo.
And I don't think Ace checked behind Ridley. There was really no reason to. So that's probably Simo's next item check. And yeah. I mean, it feels extremely unlikely that Simo doesn't do the God route.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it, you're like saying that you left terrain somewhere, which is exactly what you don't want.
Well,
to, like, find it out.
I mean, Torian could be front of East ready for Simo.
Yeah, oh like, yeah, that's the other reason that you're so much more. Yeah,
you like have to do it.
There's like no way to not do the best route here.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. This is pretty close. So this is Dragon. Dragon's a kind of long fight.
Shoutouts to the HUD making that door open immediately. Yeah, a really good speed kill is like something that would be a boon for Ace if things are close enough for that to matter. And with now high jump, it is harder. Getting the short charges though. That looked like a pretty good first spark. Getting a goo phase. Shot the goo. That was nice. And yeah, probably finish this off with ammo here. Yeah, that was
Nice. Wow,
fast.
that was a really good fight. I think Ace might actually be ahead then. Like, oh man, this is... So Simo will probably... I think best case for scenario for Simo is that this is nothing, so that Simo then checks Aqueduct. If this is... It's a super though. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. So Simo won't have to do any refills. We'll just go on this. No, I think Simo's still ahead.
I mean, yeah, it's like falling down West Meridia versus like all of Red Tower. I mean, it's within probably 30 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, like, so you have to do
well,
the elevator too. Oh, and Simo's checking this. Wow.
Okay, yeah, that makes the ammo
I can't
management
believe
in
that
Turian.
actually.
I was gonna say if Simo has ammo management issues in Turian, that's something that could cost him time, but
Yeah,
that's no
but
longer
like,
a thing.
I don't even think that charge is good for Simo. Like, Simo already had 5 supers of leeway.
Yeah, you're
So,
right. I just think not thinking about it is maybe it makes you play better. Who knows?
yeah. It does make the Mother Brain fight a little faster because full beam is a little better DPS than missiles. But
Yeah, this is a. Like I said, yeah, this
full
is
beam
within
isn't
like 30, 40 seconds.
full beam isn't faster than supers, but it is faster than missiles, so it might save like 5 seconds and lose the time of the fanfare.
Yeah. So yeah, again, I think what I said was right, that like what Ace did was the fastest thing that he could have done. It's just so happened that what exactly that was just better for Simo. But it also definitely caught Ace up because of the red tower skips and not running through Green Bryn and finding charge and stuff. But
Oh, and this is pre-aqueduct, not Main Street. So yeah, this is...
Oh yeah, the Main Street portal was in Norfair. It just says
Yeah.
Creek Mouth, so that's why I thought it was in Red Tower.
Mhm.
So it was less close than we were thinking. So yeah, minute 20, somewhere in there. Someone's doing elevator timing. He's gonna tell us. But yeah, I mean, fascinating race.
Yeah, it seemed like Simo was like
pretty
really
low.
far ahead, but then like the charge play basically was like caught Ace up a lot because Simo did a lot of checks that just didn't like get much ammo.
Yeah, and also, yeah, I mean, I want to say they did a somewhat similar amount of criteria, but when Simo did it, it was just faster for them, as well as being like
No,
a bottom to top type of thing.
Yeah, I actually kind of think maybe Ace's route was better here. Hard for me to say for sure, but like,
I think if Ace did this route without Ice Beam, we'd be like tied, or not even Ice Beam, just Crumble Shaft, right?
mhm.
Which is one thing you were touching on earlier, like those 2 checks with 1-on-1 in the reserve not full is really slow.
Yeah.
Obviously there's several other decisions. One of them is frankly doing wave in reserve in a different order also cost Ace time regarding like going to the portal, coming back in, grabbing, then going back. Like that's another thing that's probably this difference. Like there were probably 4 choices in this run that, but again, like I said, like finding Turian when Ace did was also a 7-minute time save probably.
Like Simo, I think that Simo was just like crushing the seed until they had to like look for ammo, and then like a lot of the checks they did were pretty slow. Like they did Gauntlet, they did Green Brinstar that you like don't want to do when you see it's 0.
Yeah, Ace literally maybe looked. I don't even know if Ace looked at 2 missiles. Probably he did because he didn't have charge at that point. But like that was it. It didn't even run through the rest of it. That's, I mean, that's a good bit of time save.
And that's kind of what I was talking about, like at the beginning as well. Like the ammo hunt was bad for Simo, but I think I might have just committed a charge like really early in the seed and just decided, okay, I'm never checking anything in Green Bryn, Red Bryn, like anywhere like that. Just I might have like gotten tempted to though because of like when you were in go mode, but
Emo has one reserve, I believe. Is that true?
yep, has one reserve. This should be fine. Like can take a double hit
Ace
catch up.
Ace is saving, which I think makes sense because probably you think either you god routed this and you're way ahead, or the criteria stuff you did at the beginning kind of set you back, and your opponent probably did a similar route. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's 3+1, but the save wasn't necessary, but it's safe. It
I
isn't.
tend to think about the save as like how likely, like it's less so how likely is it like that I'm still winning if I like die. It's more about how likely does it cost me the race that I lost that time to save. Um, to some extent,
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
like because basically it's protecting you against like oh your opponent like did something and just died somewhere. That's more what I see it as.
Mhm.
And if you're not like super comfy with 4 tank Mother Brain, which you can easily take a double hit catch up and die. It's like a fast fight, but like one mistake does kill you. So I think the save makes
And
some
you don't have
sense.
high jump,
Hmm.
which is the most comfy item for. Well,
Yeah,
it's the most comfy item he doesn't have. That's what I'm gonna say.
I
By a
mean,
lot.
I think a lot of people would say that the Mother Brain fight is easier without high jump, but at least MB2.
The other thing we were talking about Ace's decisions that could have maybe bridged this gap. The other things that reasons that Simo are ahead are, like you were saying, not doing lower Norfair check, not doing wreck ship check. Well, we said the lower Norfair check might have worked out, but not doing back a wreck ship check at that juncture
Yeah.
was probably that's also almost this whole time difference, depending on if you save.
I think it's more than. So if Simo had checked like the wreck ship at the end, I think that Ace has this, but
And that save would have really given us crazy nerves. Oh my goodness. And then the other decisions were I mean, what else like saved a bunch of time? I'm trying to think. Probably that's the biggest one from that exact point of view. The other stuff was just like, doing red tower checks instead of Meridia checks, which like you said, the red tower middle was like super isolated if you don't do it when Simo did it.
Mhm.
So, yeah. This looks like it's gonna put the bullies up 1-0 in this best of 5 series.
Yep.
Assuming Simo does not have catastrophic things happen in the next like 20 seconds. So there's MP3 for Ace. There's the finish. Our winner of this race is Simo for the Chicago Bullies, first place with an official race time of 53 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yep. GG to Simo.
I'm assuming both of our runners will be hoping to join us for an interview. We can talk about the most ridiculous, like full countdown, like, the information that it gives you on the HUD can be, obviously it's good pretty much regardless, but it can also be to your detriment depending on like miners and e-tanks or stuff.
Yeah.
This one just like 704, or no, I think we saw 7, and then we saw Crate 0 and E-Meridia 4, and then we saw Red Tower 0, and then the next thing we saw was Norfair 5.
Yeah.
Just like...
Oh, and we are joined by Simo. GG Simo. First thing I want to say to you is happy birthday.
We have broken Simo.exe.
Oh.
They're currently rebooting.
Can't hear Simo.
In the downtime, we're going to call it A0 finishing. Official race time 55 minutes and 2 seconds. So yeah, 89 seconds is the difference.
Can you hear us, Simo?
Ran a Windows update.
Nice.
We can hear Simo now. Just wanted to point out that this was a medium progression speed. The least meaningful of them all. It doesn't mean anything.
And we are also joined by Ace.
I can hear everybody now. I fixed it.
Nice.
GG's Ace.
Hey, thanks, GG Simo.
Yeah, GGA seems like it was a pretty close looking race. It was.
Yeah,
I didn't know where Torian was, so I had to prepare for if I was about to run into Torian.
Yep. Yeah, there were like a couple of things near the end that were like pretty big because Ace was checking like a lot of portals and did find that Torian eventually.
Okay.
But like you had a lot of outstanding portals, Simo, and if Torian was at the back of Wreck Ship instead, I think that Ace was probably winning. And if it was front of Lord Norfair, it was like really close. But
yeah, well the way I was looking at it, I was like, all right, well maybe Torian's at the back of Wreck Ship or it's at the front of East Meridia. I'm like, okay, if it's and then I was thinking if there's one I'd rather come back to, it would be the Wreck Ship one rather than the East Meridia one. And then doing the Wreck Ship first also would give me more chances of fighting Dragon and being able to get to the boss quicker.
Yeah, and then the other big thing was that Ace found Charge really a lot earlier than you, Simo.
Yeah, I saw he had so much less ammo than me. I was struggling.
And that ammo hunt was not a great ammo hunt. Like, you actually pulled ahead pretty big because you went straight into Bob Mountain where Ace went back to Criteria to do those checks. So it almost felt like it was kind of like over at that point, but then like the charge and like the portals made it really close by the end.
Yeah, I don't know, I was like, well, speed's and logic, let me go check that quick. And I was like, all right, well, I'll peek the item here and then go in. And then it was like Varia and I had to come back for it.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to do all that early, but my like health management, like I just didn't have the energy at the time. And it's like, do I dip out or like do I farm Business Center for what feels like forever when you know there's 5 majors left in Criteria? Or do you just go back to the ship and refill, then come back? Or like, do you just check all 5 things in Criteria first?
I mean, what do you find in Criteria there that helps with, like, you're not finding E-tanks, it's all
that's...
I mean, you can find an E-tank. I mean, high jump is the one.
Would be nice, yeah, but yeah.
High jump's the one I really wanted because I've been burned at least once already this playoffs by not getting like the free high jump boots at Criteria power bombs.
It was super interesting too, because once you found that Varia there, you knew that either Gravity was in Upper Norfair or was at Babu E-tank because you'd already seen all of the majors, like where all the majors were.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, well, it's probably just an Upper Norfair, and then I find it immediately, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now?
I did want to ask Simo, did you ever consider just like committing to charge instead of looking for miners? Like, and then like skipping all of Green Bryn kind of a thing?
I was considering it, but I was trying to like poke around for Torian, so I was gonna be passing through a lot of stuff, and I was like, well, these are 0 areas, so it's pretty likely I find some ammo, and then I the ammo hunt wasn't great. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like it.
Yeah.
I don't know where charge is gonna be. Like it could have been in Criteria, and that would obviously be pretty good if you just got that like right away.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to like run all the way back over to like Ice Beam or whatever to try to check something, and then the
Yeah.
gauntlet puts like Plasma and Shack Tool on the table, and I'm like,
I actually thought there was kind of a route after like coming out of Lorne Warfare that you could have taken to do that, where you would kind of like just hope portals worked out to some extent instead of like checking them, where you go back through Cathedral, and then you go back into like Criteria, you do the Criteria stuff, and then you kind of like, well, you probably go to like Wreck Ship first, and then you go into Criteria, and then like you do the Criteria stuff, and then you go do Kraid, then you do Dragon. And
I'm
like
like a 47 if you do that in this seat. Oh my goodness.
yeah, and then like you come out the front and like just try to find Torian from there basically. And then you like avoid all of the zero areas.
right.
But like it can work out kind of badly if you like don't find Torian doing that. Like it if you like last location Torian, if it's like at the front of Lorne Warfare, if it's at the back of Wreck Ship or something, then like that route could work out badly. Or if like charge ends up being like at Shack Tool or something. But
Yeah, I was okay with it being the front of Lorne Warfare. I felt like I kind of had to just kill the boss there, and then just hope I find it or it's not there.
yeah, I think the front of Lorne Warfare
Yeah.
wasn't too bad there for you.
That seemed like an obvious decision for me too, and I figured even if you found LN later than me, you're obviously going to have the Varia and the gravity suit, and you're not going to want to trek all the way there. So I think that was a really safe skip for both of us to not bother. I was kind of wondering about like Green Bryn though, and I started worrying though, especially once I hit charge too, because I figured you'd stumble into charge even if you're looking for ammo. So like I felt really bad, and obviously I didn't pick up a lot of ammo out of the way, but
yeah,
I
did
was
look around a lot for ammo. So I was preparing for Torian at the front of East Meridia. That's why I like made a detour to just like go through the gauntlet and things like that, just to try to get more ammo, because I wasn't confident I was gonna get much ammo from East Meridia 4.
Yeah,
I mean, at that
that
point,
definitely ate up one of my win conditions. I felt like, and I started to think like maybe I should be really aggressive, like because that was before I hit Turian that I found that. I was like, maybe I should just assume it's somewhere bad and like literally just skip like the West Meridia checks and don't bother. Or no, that was up. I'd already been up to the Red Fish, but I was thinking about like just skipping the Meridia map because that seems too easy to get to, and like I'd be in better shape if I saved all that time and assumed Turian was like somewhere bad, like Green Bryn or Bacharach Ship. But I guess that wouldn't have worked out here either. It's hard to win a jet seed even when you hit the jet pretty much with somebody like Simo you're up against. It's just so good at the game mechanically.
Yeah, and like I mean, I think that it was probably just like going back to Criteria that kind of got you that seed, I think. Because I think that like from there on, like you saved a lot of time on Simo. Just for like I think your routing worked out better for you. Like you managed to avoid Green Bryn basically. And Simo like did that stuff, like you got the charge and Simo didn't, kind of a thing. So yeah, I think it was like the beginning of the race, like that kind of stuff, plus like you check Crumble Shaft where Simo just like bailed on that and ice. Like
yeah, I was really confused on what to do there. That was again like not having quite enough energy, and I was like, maybe I can get both of these items, like at least check both, and then reset if I don't get an E-Tank or Varia suit. And then I ended up not having the health.
Like I had just like sparked across the moat, and my health wasn't great. I was like, I'm just not gonna do ice right now. I'm just gonna run over, farm up, see what's its speed booster, and then I don't know, like I was gonna find stuff there. It's like pretty much guaranteed that there's suits in Upper Norfair, so it's just
Yeah.
Might
I was
as
just
well check.
Yeah, I was just worried that Speed Booster wouldn't have anything, and then I don't have enough health for, Norfair Reserve or Wave or checking the other portals, and it's a longer trek back to Criteria to get like maybe another E-Tank and like high jump boots or something that makes your
Yeah.
movement better. And
I was thinking that like maybe you're supposed to go through Green Bryn or something to find some E-Tanks, and then like that's what I was thinking when I was doing Upper Norfair.
oh, so you hit Green Bryn from the lava dive side?
Yeah, I found Green Bryn. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then I went down and I saw the portal there. Was the bottom of Red Tower, and then I just checked like the tube, and then went back into Green Bryn to check the elevator. Or I went.
No,
to the
you
middle
went
of
to
Red Tower
middle. Mm-hmm.
just to see what I didn't want to abandon that. And
Yep,
It turned out
yep.
to be Croc, which I guess is good to
I think
know.
yeah, that's good to know. That meant that like you didn't have to worry about Croc being at the front of East Meridia, for example, when you're
Mhm.
finishing up.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever played. Honestly, I ever played another seed with area that I didn't check everything in Red Tower. Like you just always check all those portals at some point. I never checked the middle of Red Tower. I never saw Croc.
Yeah, you already knew all the portals you needed to know at that point,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
It's also probably the first seed anyone's ever done with 16 majors in 3 areas.
Yeah, in 3 areas, that was it. What did you guys feel when you saw the 7 criteria?
I was just like, oh no! All right, this is just how I'm gonna lose. The criteria 7.
I was thinking that this probably was good for me, honestly, like because so far I've taken a couple wins from some really good opponents just because the seeds have been a big mess. Like
Mhm.
my race last week against Sephi was like such an awful early start that like he had a little bit more trouble than I did early, and I was able to kind of stay ahead on even with his better movement than mine. And then but against Simo, like just because of how much randomizer experience they have, like I was thinking there's no way that's going to be good for me, so I'm better off getting like a jet seed with like one thing out of the way that somehow I still get,
And that kind of happened. Like
Oh,
it was a jet
almost,
seed,
yeah.
and you got the charge that Simo didn't. So
Yeah,
it was.
just wasn't quite enough.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw the charge, and I was like, oh, this is in kind of like a not terrible spot. So like if he just like went into East Meridia really early, this could be really bad for me. It sounded like he didn't do it super early, or the Ace did do it super early.
No.
Yeah.
It was still after like Lower Norfair,
Yeah.
after both suits, obviously after LN. I hit that right before finding Turian, and then just doubled back to get Wreck Ship and Kraid's Lair cleared out.
I think the only thing we were wondering about was Ace, your decision to not go through East Meridia and then ended up backtracking to check that portal, because
Yeah.
we were thinking you could have like, you go out the other side, you hit Kraid, you hit Wreck Ship, and then you're on a portal hunt, and
Yeah.
in that scenario, like back a Wreck Ship being Turian just like wins for free. But
Yeah, that's what I thought about when I hit the charge beam there. That's what I was thinking, like, okay, well now since charge is available, I almost need the portal to be in a bad spot, but like if I didn't check the Meridia map station portal, like that was going to be really orphaned, and
Yeah.
like I don't know. I
think that
once I-
you
once
had a
I
lot of
finished-
portals outstanding.
I did, and they were
Um,
all like really far apart from each other. Was the only
I think that
was the biggest problem.
you might have actually like been better off like not thinking, oh, if it's out of the way, I lose, or like I win. You almost would have been better thinking if it's in the way, I win, kind of a thing. And then like you go to the back of East Meridia, you do Kraid there, then you go across to Red Tower to do Wreck Ship, and then instead of even checking the back, you like go down Red Tower because you're missing those portals too, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I only had one in Red Tower though. I guess I could have went to
Yeah,
through
and then
the
you got
tube
like
and through West
Green
Meridia
Bryn,
from there.
you got West Meridia. Oh.
I don't think it would have made the difference, but that would have made sense too.
Yeah, it would have been pretty risky because like you might just abandon Torian at a bad spot. But it would have been a play to make potentially.
I think in this seed, every portal decision carried at least some good amount of risk, frankly. Just because of how fast you had like all the items you needed, save, charge.
Yeah, so I think that's all that I have to say about this seed. Any last thoughts from you two?
GG's again, Ace. Was a. I'm looking forward to watching this back. It was a pretty fun race. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the races in this series. I think they'll all be pretty good. And thank you, D-Web. Thank you, Zeb. Thank you, Paragon, for your work with the restream.
Yeah, I'll just echo the same thing. I definitely feel good about only being a minute and a half behind. Nice close race. This is about the best I could hope for. Looking forward to seeing Audra and Duck's races later in the week.
Yeah.
Oh.
For the. Oh, sorry, did I cut you off, Ace?
No,
Nope.
that was me.
Oh.
But you're fine.
Oh.
You're fine. You can close us out.
Okay, yeah. For the rest of this week, we have one race on the schedule for tomorrow. MM2 NES Cartridge versus Professor School. That's the very matchup of our other semifinal. World Cup Breast Rubies versus Wild Plume. That'll be 10:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Wednesday is the doubleheader of the Power and Varia suits for this matchup. At 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, Audra versus Stachio Cat, and then following that is Apathy Duck versus Eddie. I will say that this is a divisional rematch, and so far the Chicago Bullies have taken all three, so the A team's definitely looking to put a chip in that armor. And after that, Saturday is the only other race on the schedule. Actually, I guess that's the last one as far as the first three for each series. Farfalu versus Nevd, Saturday 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yep, looking forward to them.
Quick tidying up. I know Paragon's been doing a great job in chat. Shout outs to, again, both of the runners. You can see their links in the chat if you want to follow them. Again, echoing thanks to Zeb for joining me on commentary. I know I had a blast. I hope you did too. And I think with that, that's all I have. Zeb, do you have anything else?
Just thanks to the runners again. Thanks to everyone else. Join me here. Thanks to everyone for watching, and we will see you next mission.